Blog 5, Much Ado About Nothing. How has the practical lesson impacted on the progress and development of the performance as a whole and as your individual character performance? The lesson today, we've just come up to the scene where Antonia is fighting with Leonardo against Claudio and Don Pedro, and following out the friar's plan. This gives me a lot more room to shape my character, as I can really get into the expressiveness and the defensiveness that she will portray. It's helped me develop my performance as we've developed the scenes and gone along, and I've been able to explore my character in this situation and research my character in this situation to find out more about how I would react as my character. The progress that we've made today has been to continue through Act 2, and it's progressed into the scene, and we've managed to block the scene, and it's really got me thinking more about how my character would react. Would you be more defensive, more violent, more temper there, or would there be more calm, threatening, and protective? Describe the games and exercises used to warm up and why they were used. Today we did a normal warm up, physical warm up, warming up our muscles so we didn't strain ourselves, and then we did a vocal warm up, an individual vocal warm up, and I focused mainly on my projection and my diction, so I've got better clarity and can be better understood by the audience. Also, it'll help me with my prim and proper accent, to push it to the higher adequacy of speaking, so I sound more upper class, more posh. The vocal ones were used so I could explore more with my character, as well as warming up my vocals so I didn't damage my vocal cords. Oh. Which explorative strategies did you use, and did they help you to develop your role? I have done hot seating with my character before now, that's allowed me to develop how they interact with others. We also did hot seat speed dating, which is where one side would swap, so we could find out more about the characters that are there. Um, um, we don't use thought tracking really for our characters. However, I often do it out of character, about my character. Like, when I come home, my family realise I'm not being strange, so I'll turn into my character and read through scenes and think about what would my character be doing in this scene and how would they react. So I will do a full thought track there with me sat on the sofa and finding what I believe to be my character's thoughts, and developing on them mentally so I can have some more influence in class as to what we do. I often think about what's on my conscience as the character. Is the death of Hero on her conscience at all? Does she blame herself for the death of Hero? Is that one reason she'd be more protective, is because she feels like she should have done more, she should have helped out more during that time? Because I stay silent during that time as my character during the wedding scene. So this could be my way of making up to it in this scene that we did today. I have explored more about the naturalistic acting styles and acting exercises and thought about what would a normal modern upper class person be like in comparison to a 1982 upper class posh person, to see what I can take and what I can better my understanding so I can play someone from 1982. Describe the scenes you rehearsed. The scenes that we did today was scene well, we worked through the first few scenes that we did during Act 2, which was the wedding scene, Beatrice's and Benedict's scene, and then moving into scene 18, where me and Leonardo begin the scene with, "If you go on thus, you will kill yourself." And that's where I'm trying to help my brother to overcome this grief and to follow the friar's plan to save Hero. During this scene, I get into a heated argument with Claudio and Don Pedro, where I will physically be in a fight with them. However, it should be me fighting them and them backing away, as they don't want to fight a woman, which would be the time at that, which would be the way at that, like the time that it's set. And they'll see me as just like they'll see me as a threat. However, not as much of a threat, as I'm still changed from male to female. Given it being a male character, there probably would be a physical fight. However, the male characters that have played this role have all been elderly and have been more fragile, so there's never been a full heated scene that makes the most of the potential of this scene. Scene 18. My characterization, I had to think about what my character was thinking and become my character using emotion memory, and also think about what scenes have gone on before. So, changing different pieces, like how would I react to things? What emotion should I portray at different parts? I feel like I should portray sadness and be pleading with my brother to calm down and let us sort this so he doesn't harm himself, because I'm more of the caring big sister. Um, However, when Don Pedro and Claudio enter, my mood should go deadly quiet and silent and very dangerous, and the things I say should be snide remarks and be very in people's faces, because I feel like that's the only way for my character to get their point across, is to do that, because women wouldn't have been taken seriously at the time. So when I am having a go at them, I'm going to make the most of gestures, facial expressions, pleading with brother. I'm going to use a lot of emotion memory and facial expressions that will tell the audience my exact emotions at that point in time. I'm going to use gestures and physical movements, such as pushing Dom Pedro and Claudio as out of frustration and anger and hurt and pain that my character is feeling, because she feels betrayed and hurt by her friends. My voice will show that, because I will get more higher pitched, which you do when you're angry. You get higher pitched and you speak a lot faster, and because I'm very confident with the words in this scene, I will be fine to speak faster. However, I just need to make sure I keep that clarity and diction there. What ideas did I have? The ideas that I've had have been about the physical movement on stage. I've blocked myself, my staging, my movement. I've only been directed once as to where to stand, and that was because I didn't realise I was being blocked by Matt when I'd moved to a certain spot and he'd moved directly after, and at that point we blocked each other, so we needed to alter that. So I knew exactly the points on stage where I could walk to, where I could still be seen by the entire of the audience, and where my facial expressions and anger and hurt and pain and emotion could be portrayed and still be seen. I took risks by following through with my ideas without question before. I took the lead of my work and this scene, and I developed it to the best of my ability, going on scenes that I've watched before and creative ideas that I've had and worked on with the people in the scene. I've experimented with physicalities for this scene. Should I be more laid back? Should I be more held up because it's in privacy? Should I let my guard down and be more heartfelt and more normal, more relatable to the audience, as I am a family person? Or shall I keep that upper stance that I show with everyone else and make it so I'm just using my vocals to show my difference in public and private? The majority of the ideas that I've used were my own, such as physical confrontation on stage. That's never been used before in any adaptations that I've seen. So I've introduced that and made that my own. The ideas we developed as a group was the physical confrontation and the blocking around stage, where we'd be, what we'd do, where we would stand, what directions to head in, to face, what emotions to portray. We worked on this as a group beforehand, so we knew ideas of what we would do in the scene before we actually did the scene. No one really took the lead. We each developed our characters individually, however, they merged together quite naturally when in the scene. And there was only one point where it took people on stage by shock, was when the physical confrontation, I moved it forward so I could push them once to get my point across for one thing, and then push them a second time harder to get the physical point and the frustration of my character shown to the audience. And I think I may have pushed them too hard. However, we've worked that out now, so by the end of the lesson we'd worked out when I'm going to push them, how hard, when the best timing for it would be, and like how effective they're going to be by getting other people in the class to watch it and see what they said, see what feedback they gave. This helped me I contributed to the development of the piece by performing what I'd rehearsed and by everyone working together as a close-knit team and providing the scene with so much power and emotion that it was one of the first scenes that took us so few moments to so few rehearsals to actually learn. The drama elements that were developed were the plot, because we showed the friar's plan being put into action, and this led into the scene where it's discovered what has happened, where it's revealed to the family members, to Antonia, Leonato, the friar, Benedict, and all the people on the good side, and then revealed by Antonia and Leonato and the sexton to Don Pedro and Claudia, who have wronged Hera. The action has been developed because we've worked in physical confrontations. We've worked in the style of naturalism and using the levels of emotion and characterization to push the piece further, to push out that emotion memory and help us develop the piece. The final products of the rehearsal were, we were clear on what we were doing up until the end of scene 18 and began scene 19. What we did was we started off with the warm-up, moved on to blocking the scenes, rehearsed the scenes a few times with different pieces tweaked to make a better scene, and I saw a major development in how we'd started with this idea and worked it up to the full extent.